ChatGPT, show me what I would look like after losing 25 pounds in a month. Well, that's not where I want to be, but it is way better than where I'm at now. And losing weight quickly will give me the momentum I need to lose the full 50 pounds. So I guess I'm back to keto, back to intermittent fasting, and I need to do all of the cardio. If you're a busy mom over 40 who is tired of working hard to lose a big chunk of weight only to regain every pound, this video will change how you think about weight loss forever. Because today I'll show you two different versions of the same woman, both who wanted to lose 50 pounds but took completely different approaches. And where they ended up will shock you. As someone who spent 30 years yo-yo dieting before finally achieving the body I wanted in my 40s, I thought I knew everything about weight loss. But comparing these two very different approaches completely changed my perspective about what an effective fat loss plan actually looks like. Most people choose the faster option without really thinking about it, which is the same choice that I made for the 30 years that I struggled with yo-yoing weight. But after looking deeper at both approaches, not just at what happens in the first month, but a full year later, that's when I realized I was doing everything backwards for decades, which is why I was constantly on a diet, but always struggling with losing and regaining the same weight. So today, I'll walk you through both journeys step by step and show you exactly what each version did and reveal something about sustainable weight loss that will surprise you. But if you're still convinced that faster is always better, make sure you stick around until the end. Because this really is the most important lesson you will ever learn about what actually works for fat loss and what will keep you stuck forever. Meet the old version of me, Nissa, who was stuck in yo-yo diets for more than 30 years. She's 42, a busy mom with 2 kids, and she's got 25 pounds to lose before her high school reunion that's in a month. This version goes all in with another desperation diet. She cuts calories to 1200, eliminates all carbs except leafy greens, fasts up to 24 hours at a time, and commits to 2 hours of cardio every single day, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour after the kids go to bed. A full week into this plan, old Nissa is down 8 pounds. Even though she's exhausted, cranky, and surviving on willpower and caffeine, she's happy because the scale is moving fast. By week 2, there are another 6 pounds gone. This Nissa is down to eating mostly chicken breast, green veggies, and whatever energy she can scrape together after her 3rd cup of black coffee. Even though her diet is going well, she finds herself snapping at her kids, avoiding social events, and her husband is walking on eggshells. But by week 3, she is down another 5 pounds. To keep the scale moving, old Nissa hits the elliptical like it owes her money. And she keeps at it, even when she's so tired that she can barely lift her head off the pillow each morning. Yes, she's exhausted, but she pushes through because her reunion is in less than a week. By week 4, she makes it to her goal, losing her final 6 pounds. Dropping 25 pounds in only 30 days helps her look amazing in her reunion dress. And it wasn't all in her head either, because she got tons of compliments, making her feel like she just conquered Mount Everest. But even though she ends this stage on a high, here's what really happened during those 30 days. Old Nissa did lose 25 pounds, but only 8 pounds of that was actually fat. The rest was water weight after cutting carbs, plus 7 pounds of muscle since she wasn't eating nearly enough protein, and she never really bothered with strength training since cardio was her entire focus. Her metabolism crashed from the extreme calorie restriction. So even though her body was burning 2,200 calories a day just existing before her diet, now she's lucky if it burns 1,400. After cutting calories so low and then adding tons of cardio to burn even more, her body went into survival mode, slowing down every process just to conserve energy. And the stress, the constant hunger and exhaustion and her mood swings, that sent her cortisol levels through the roof, making fat loss even harder. But this version of Nissa doesn't know any of this yet. She's still riding high from her reunion success. Let's fast forward 6 months. The old version of me is back to her original weight. Well, actually she's 5 pounds heavier. because the second she went back to eating normally, adding back her carbs, eating out more often, and not really paying attention to calories or macros, her body held on to every calorie like it was preparing for another famine. The water weight came back immediately. And since she lost so much muscle, now her metabolism was slower than when she started. Old Nissa is eating 1,400 calories a day, which is more than her reunion diet, but is still very restrictive, and she's extremely frustrated because she can't even lose a pound. She's back on the cardio hamster wheel, spending hours at the gym just to maintain her current weight. Now she is exhausted and just convinced that her metabolism is broken. Every diet she tries seems impossible because her body is fighting her at every turn. Now let's meet the new version of me, Nissa, who finally understands that even though fat loss isn't a quick process, that the slower and steadier approach comes with lasting results. She's also 42, a busy mom, and has 50 pounds to lose. But after struggling with her weight for decades, this Nissa decides that it's time to take a completely different approach. Instead of going into another extreme diet, she calculates a moderate calorie deficit, eating 2,000 calories a day, which, when combined with a little extra movement, should help her lose around a pound each week. She focuses on hitting 150 grams of protein every day and includes carbs at every meal to fuel her workouts and her busy life. Even though keto experts made her fear carbs for more than a decade, she finally realizes that while it may be true that carbs aren't necessary to survive, as an active woman with changing hormones, they are absolutely necessary to thrive. This version of Nissa starts strength training 2 to 3 times each week, completing a 60-minute full-body workout. She also commits to working up to 10,000 steps every day, which she fits in with daily walks, during her kids' practices, and by taking the stairs or parking further back instead of fighting for the closest spot. After her first month, new Nissa loses 4 pounds, which isn't quite as exciting as old Nissa's 8-pound first week, but this version feels energized, her mood is stable, and she actually enjoys her workouts. By month 2, she's down another 4 pounds. New Nissa is getting stronger, her clothes fit better, and people are starting to notice. To get these consistent results, she's eating food she loves, just in smaller portions. Month 3, 4 more pounds gone. And even though new Nissa is down 12 pounds in 3 months, that doesn't even tell the full story. Because thanks to her consistent strength training and eating more protein, she actually gained 2 pounds of muscle, which means she really lost 14 pounds of fat while also speeding up her metabolism. Months 4 through 6, new Nissa loses her final 13 pounds, hitting her 25-pound goal right on schedule. And she gained a few more pounds of muscle, making it noticeable that she lost even more than the 25 pounds of fat that showed up on the scale. But unlike the old Nissa, who constantly struggled, this version never really felt deprived. She never had to white-knuckle her way through cravings or survive on pure willpower. She built habits that fit into her real life. While that doesn't mean that it was always easy, it was still a billion times easier than starving herself with fad diets, which made this new approach feel absolutely life-changing. Here's what most people don't understand about these two approaches. Old Nissa's extreme diet triggered her body's starvation response. Her metabolism slowed down, her hunger hormones went haywire, and she lost precious muscle that keeps her metabolism high. New Nissa's moderate approach kept her metabolism humming. The strength training and high protein intake actually increased her muscle mass, which means she automatically burns more calories even while she sleeps. Old Nissa's cortisol levels skyrocketed from the stress of extreme restriction, making fat loss harder and fat storage way easier. New Nissa's sustainable approach kept her stress hormones balanced, making fat loss easier and more consistent. But this story doesn't end after only 6 months. Let's fast forward 1 year from when both versions started. Old Nissa is still stuck in diet hell. She quickly regained all 25 pounds plus another 5. She's struggling to eat 1,400 calories a day, and she still isn't even losing weight since her metabolism is shot. She spends hours on cardio machines just to maintain her weight. Now she is absolutely convinced that she just has bad genetics and will have to be even more extreme if she ever wants to lose weight. So she's back to constantly researching new diets, jumping from keto to intermittent fasting or whatever the latest influencer is promoting. She's exhausted, frustrated, and feels like her body is working against her. But the new Nissa, she kept going with her sustainable approach and lost another 25 pounds. Now she's 50 pounds lighter than when she got started and eating up to 2,400 calories a day while effortlessly maintaining a healthy weight. This version of Nissa strength trains twice a week and remains consistent with her daily walk. Not because she has to, but because it's actually her favorite part of the day. Staying active melts away stress and kicks up those feel-good hormones that put her in a great mood. She's still eating mostly whole foods, but that's not because she's trying to lose weight. It's because she finally realized that's how her body functions best, and now she gives her body what it needs to thrive. 2 years from their starting point, the contrast is even more dramatic. Old Nissa is still stuck, struggling with losing and regaining the same 20 pounds. She's eating less than ever, maybe 1,300 calories on a good day, and feels like she lives her life on cardio machines. Her metabolism is so damaged that just maintaining her weight feels impossible. New Nissa is eating nearly double what old Nissa eats, even though they're the same person at the same age. But she's 50 pounds lighter and eating 2,400 calories a day, which gives her plenty of energy to hit the gym 2 or 3 times each week while sticking to the moderate daily walk that helped her lose 50 pounds in the first place. And if she misses a day, it's not a big deal. She just gets back to the routine that she's grown to love the very next day, which is easy to do since she built a lifestyle that she actually enjoys, not a prison of restriction that she's always looking for excuses to escape from. So you can keep rushing the process with fad after fad, chasing the next 30-day transformation that promises everything but never delivers lasting results. Or you can finally understand that fat loss after 40 just takes time, and that building sustainable habits is the only way you will ever keep the weight off. Because none of that quick fix nonsense is sustainable, no matter how many times the big gurus try to convince you otherwise. The woman who finally commits to taking her time doesn't just lose weight. She transforms her entire relationship with food, exercise, and her body. So here's my question. Are you still committed to being the old version of me who was stuck in the never-ending yo-yo dieting cycle for decades? Or are you ready to become a brand new you who finally figured out how to make this the last time you ever have to lose weight? If you're ready to stop starting over and instead build habits that stick, watch this video next. I show you the exact morning routine that helped me lose 50 pounds and keep it up for 3 years. Because once you figure out how to conquer the first hour of your day, that makes the next 23 hours so much easier.